Some wounds don't bleed on the outside. They bleed quietly. Until someone breaks. Before we begin, kindly subscribe to Retails Africa for powerful African stories that touch the heart and open the mind. This is not just a story of two sisters. It is the story of how silence can destroy a person. And how neglect can wound deeper than violence. In the quiet hills of Kololo, Kampala, stood a magnificent mansion with tall glass windows and trimmed hedges, shaped like swans. Inside lived two sisters under the same roof, raised by the same parents, yet growing up in two completely different worlds. One sister shone like sunlight. The other lived in the shadows. The older sister was loud, confident, and admired by everyone who walked through the iron gates. Teachers praised her brilliance. Relatives bragged about her talent. Neighbors whispered her name with pride. From childhood, she was celebrated as the gifted one. The younger sister was gentle and withdrawn. She walked softly, spoke carefully, and learned early that her voice rarely mattered. When she brought home good grades, they were brushed aside. When she cried, she was told she was too sensitive. When she succeeded, it was called luck. At family gatherings, cameras pointed in only one direction. At school events, applause followed only one sister. At home, affection was rationed, and she always received less. She learned to survive quietly. Years passed, and the mansion filled with expensive furniture, imported art, and foreign perfumes, but something essential was missing: emotional warmth. Their parents believed food, school fees, and luxury were enough. They did not see the cracks forming in the quiet child's heart. The younger sister became invisible in her own home. While the older sister was encouraged to pursue fashion and social media fame, the younger one was expected to help with chores, look after cousins, and stay out of the way. Every mistake the other made was excused. By the time they reached university age, the difference between them was painful. One sister was loud on Instagram and TikTok. The other had a private notebook filled with words she never said out loud. And in that notebook, one sentence appeared again and again. If I disappear, would anyone notice? But silence is not empty. Silence is heavy. And one day, it would almost destroy her. University brought freedom, but also loneliness. The older sister thrived in attention, posting glamorous photos and attending elite Kampala events. The younger sister chose a modest course in psychology, hoping to understand pain, because pain had been her only teacher. She moved into a small hostel room, in Wandegia, away from the mansion's shining walls. There, she studied, worked part-time at a bookshop, and sent money home when she could. Still, at family dinners, she was introduced last, if at all. "Your sister is going far," people would say. And she would smile politely, swallowing her own dreams. Then one evening, she didn't come home. Her phone stayed off. Her room was untouched. Her shoes remained at the door. No note. No message. Just absence. At first, no one noticed. Her parents assumed she was studying. Her sister assumed she was being dramatic. It was only the housemaid who whispered, "Madam, something is wrong." 3 days later, they found her at a small health clinic outside Kampala. Weak. Silent. Eyes empty of light. The doctor spoke carefully. She didn't harm herself, but her body shut down from emotional exhaustion. This happens when someone carries pain alone for too long. Those words struck harder than thunder. For the first time, the older sister sat beside her hospital bed and saw something she had never noticed. The quiet sister was not weak, she was wounded. In therapy, the younger sister finally spoke. About birthdays where only one cake was cut. About achievements that were never celebrated. About feeling like a visitor in her own home. About loving her sister and hating herself for envying her. And the truth surfaced, not as anger, but as grief. The older sister listened and broke. She realized she had grown up believing love was a competition. That praise had turned into pride. That her success had unknowingly crushed the soul beside her. The parents were shocked. They realized something painful. They had raised one child loudly and broken the other quietly. Favoritism had not been intentional, but it had been fatal. The mansion changed after that hospital stay. Apologies were said. Regrets were cried. But wounds that grow for years do not heal in a day. Family meetings replaced shouting. Therapy replaced denial. Silence was no longer allowed to live in the house. The older sister wrote something simple on her social handles. My success was loud. My sister's pain was quiet. And I almost lost her because I never looked back. She took a break from fame and enrolled in counseling classes, determined to repair what pride had broken. The younger sister returned to campus, not healed, but healing. She began speaking at small youth forums in Kampala about emotional neglect, favoritism, and invisible wounds. Her voice, once buried, became her weapon. The sisters learned a new relationship, not rivalry, but repair. Not competition, but compassion. Not silence, but truth. The mansion no longer echoed with applause for one voice. It learned to listen to two. Moral lesson. Some children don't rebel. They disappear quietly. Not every wound bleeds on the outside. Some bleed in the heart, until someone finally sees them. Favoritism is not harmless. Silence is not strength. And love, when uneven, can destroy more than poverty ever could. Here at Retails Africa, we tell stories that heal, awaken, and remind us that behind every smile may be a battle no one sees. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to feel seen. Because sometimes, one story can save a life. This is another tale from Retails Africa, where African stories meet human truth. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.